Baby beard!
All right, I'm a delivery boy.
Who is Hermes planning on killing?
I think we should let the orphans run free.
You've redeemed funds.
Yeah, exactly.
You haven't.
He's just an old guy.
Can we talk about evil Lincoln?
Oh, of course.
Oh, this art needs to be sent. That's not the voice at all.
That's lobster-tainment.
Let's make it the
Look,
Christmas.
let me ask you this.
He was just about to agree with you. Wow. Shut up and take me, podcast.
Is that an homage to Sea of Thieves?
I've been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves and the pirate voice.
He's a pirate, you know, from space.
Space pirates. We don't carry harpoons.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to Shut Up and Take My Podcast, the Futurama podcast that pits episode against episode in bloody, glorious battle for your entertainment. I am joined here by Ellen.
Brought to you with over 4,000 lines of basic code.
By Phil.
I think the world would be a better place if parenting relied on smizmars.
Aww.
By
you're right.
Josh.
I thought I was lost in the fourth dimension. I was just at the first episode of season 4.
Whoop.
And we're joined by Sean.
It's kind of a competition between Kif and Zoidberg for most pathetic character this episode.
Yeah,
How
really...
dare you? Kif is in a loving, committed relationship, and Zoidberg lives in, like, essentially a gravitron.
Exactly.
I think
Until
we're...
he was thrown out.
Get out of here with that nonsense.
It's Zoidberg. It's absolutely Zoidberg.
Yes.
Always will be
And he cries like a baby, apparently. Literally, not hyperbole.
Yeah.
He cries like a...
Oh.
He cries like a baby.
Round of applause for that.
Thank
I would
you.
clap, but it would
Very
throw...
good.
No, it's going to throw the audio off, Sean.
I did it. Sorry, Chris. Sexy Chris can edit that out. Or
Yeah.
not.
No, put
We've
it
never
in.
edited out things so far. Guys, we're up to season 4. We're on the home stretch for the end of the original series.
Oh.
Some would say the good stretch.
Oh, there's good stuff
I
later
mean,
on.
look, there's no need to, like, you know, rule
Throw
out...
pre-shade.
Yeah.
Future spoilers. Josh
We'll-
doesn't like
we'll
everything after season 4.
We'll throw shade at it when we get there. Okay?
Yeah, that's right.
No future shading.
Yep.
Future shade is
For,
my...
foreshadowing.
That's
There
my
you go.
new
Oh,
superhero
God,
name.
I hate you.
We are on season 4, episode 1. Kif Gets Knocked Up a Notch.
Bam!
Bam.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have bam in the title.
It doesn't
but it
have
needs a bam.
It doesn't have Elzar, but it's clearly an
I know.
Elzar pun.
Is it spelled Kif Gets Knocked Up at Notch?
Notch.
No.
Is there like a W in there?
Unfortunately, no.
So Futurama are now using their own things.
Yeah,
to-
their own
Yes.
jokes.
Yeah, that's when you know you're in a super in joke.
They've never been great at titles.
Oh,
So-
wait, what? There's been some amazing titles.
All right, come on. That's lobstertainment.
Bending in the wind.
Actually, no, I agree with you now, Ellen. It's, yeah.
Thank you.
We have a debut director,
Ooh.
Wes Archer, who was one of the 3 original Simpsons animators. So the ones that were on the Tracy Ullman shorts. So
Okay. Yeah.
Wes Archer makes his triumphant debut. The writer is...
So, was it... But you said he's already been a writer.
Oh, well, debut for the Futurama.
Okay,
verse.
yeah, all right.
I really hope you said the debut for the future.
Nothing else exists.
Every day is a debut for the future. Ooh.
That is motivational. Get
Add that
on
to
a
your
t-shirt.
calendar.
I want that
Yeah.
on a coaster.
Thank you.
I want
Wow.
it on a lanyard.
I want it underneath Sean's tattoo.
I will take
Tattooed also.
Don't out me.
Edit it out. Edit it out. I dare you.
Is your mum listening, Sean?
Hi, Mum. Writer for this episode, Mum, is Bill Oden. She doesn't listen.
Odenkirk.
Bill Odenkirk.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Brother of Bob Odenkirk.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
I thought it
but-
was Bob
Yeah.
Odenkirk.
Yeah, but
Comedy
they're,
duo.
yeah, they're great at comedy.
Yeah.
The Odenkirk?
Runs
He writes a little bit for Futurama.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Bill
back from
Odenkirk.
Insane in the Mainframe.
Such a good episode.
Such a good episode.
No wonder we had fun with this episode. The
Yeah.
writer
Yeah.
is very funny.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Odenkirk has a PhD in inorganic chemistry from
Oh.
the University of Chicago.
What does inorganic chemistry mean?
Not organic chemistry.
So organic chemistry is to do...
Thanks, Sean. Really needed that like helpful definition there.
There's
Does
natural
anyone else
science-
want
Well,
to?
there's- Yeah, there's
carry
natural
on.
sciences and then there's unnatural sciences. And that's what he deals
So
with.
it's evil chemistry.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why
Alchemy.
Evil Lincoln is a thing. And also, Evil Lincoln.
Yeah, debut of Evil Lincoln in this episode.
Best character.
How do
I'll
we?
tell you after the show.
Okay, thank
what
you,
the
Phil.
difference in organic and inorganic chemistry.
Air date is January 12th, 2003, so maybe the first for the year, I'm not sure. Season 4 gets really kind of messed up in terms
Yeah.
of the production order to the...
They're trying to
Broadcast
save
order?
the popularity of the show so it doesn't get cancelled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone really dropped the ball there.
And some should say it should have remained cancelled.
Oh, we got the movies.
You're going to say it.
You're
Yeah.
so
Well, you just did say
controversial.
it. So.
I did. And I'll say it again.
And let's make a controversial plot synopsis for
Oh,
the
gosh,
episode.
that's me.
Phil.
Kif calls Amy long distance because he misses her so
Oh,
much.
he's such a nice guy.
Yeah,
okay.
but he just can't stand the long distance. It's tearing him apart. Lisa. So, coincidentally, they have to deliver. The crew has to deliver some pain meds, which will take the crew near to where Kif is on patrol.
Oh,
So,
I just realised those people never get those
No,
pain
I
meds.
know.
It's
That's
also
that's one of my notes.
That's terrible.
To a hive mind as well. So a hive mind is suffering, which means
Yes.
everything attached to it is suffering.
Everyone-
now as
One
well.
headache through an entire race.
yeah,
Ugh.
that sucks.
They're all dead. I made that as a note
But,
as well.
yeah. Once again,
And back to the plot.
Yes, back to the plot. Amy hides aboard the Planet Express inside the pain meds, and while everyone is having hibernative naptosis, she steals the ship and meets up with Kif on board. They have a time on the holodeck because Kif wants Amy to move in.
Holler Shed, I think
Holler
you'll find,
Shed.
for copyright reasons.
So legally distinct from the holodeck. Kif takes Amy to the holodeck to show her their possible futures. But the holoshed malfunctions, and all the most evil characters from the holoshed escape and become real.
They also say all the evil characters from history.
From
Yeah,
history.
History.
I don't remember there being an evil Lincoln.
You obviously never lived in Universe
Don't
2.
listen
Yeah.
to the Daniel Day-Lewis film. They've got it all wrong.
That's right. There's chaos ensues, and in the chaos, Kif touches someone and gets
Ooh.
pregnant.
Someone said Kif touched all of us in this episode.
So they
Yeah.
have to decide who's the mother / father, and it turns out it's Leela. But Amy is the smizma, so she should be the parent. But she can't stand the responsibility, so she runs away, leaving Kif to give birth alone on his home planet. But Amy has a second thought, comes back heroically on her ironing board, surfboard thing.
Party board.
Party board.
Party board.
Party board.
Party
Kif
board,
gives
ironing board.
birth. Turns out the kids don't need raising at all. They just
Well, they
slot into
do.
the
20
tom
years' time.
In 20
Yeah,
years' time.
yeah.
Like any good child.
And everyone's happy. The end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
What do we think?
You really needed the snatch breath in there.
Yeah.
I had a great time,
yeah.
personally. I fucking love this episode.
I love
And
Kif.
I love Kif. In terms of character episode, I think this was just a really nice one for Kif and Amy because you do really get how much they care about each other. But also this episode gave me so much anxiety because of all the pressure on Amy to be a mother.
Yeah.
And
When will women take responsibility for
Yeah,
the
that's
children
right.
that they've conceived? Like,
so much bitter laughter when that line
Yeah.
happened.
I was like, oh, it felt cold in here.
I literally tipped my head backwards so much that my head touched my spine.
Hey, look, I'm taking responsibility for someone else's child, so I'm evening up the score the other way.
And you know
So-
how you were saying the smizma is the real
Yes.
parent? Absolutely right.
For sure.
And anytime someone talks about, your biological parent is just the person who, like Leela, provided your DNA.
That's
They
right.
don't mean shit.
They don't give you the
You know?
love and the nurture you need.
Exactly.
To flourish.
Nature versus nurture.
It's the
debate.
people who care about you, who are your real family, and in other important life lessons from this episode, you probably shouldn't go into anywhere that's named after a shed with a guy.
If anyone's
I-
wondering why Ellen's voice got so high, the soapbox was just raising her a little bit.
Oh, whatever.
Now let's drag you back down
gotta
to our
keep it
level.
informative for the kids, you know?
I like that they finally discovered what the fuck they meant by smizma.
Yes.
It
They
is
didn't
mentioned
know.
before, yeah.
It wasn't mentioned before.
Raging Bender. They just go, ladies and gentlemen and smizmas.
Ah.
And there's also a movie poster that said something like, the day I met a smizma or whatever.
Yeah.
So it
That's
used to be...
really cute.
They've tried for so long to keep adding it in. They're finally, this is what I mean.
What a
Right, we got
wholesome
it. We got it.
universe where people are like, hey, all those people who, not biologically related to your kids, you're important too.
Oh, thanks, Futurama, for validating my lifestyle choices.
I really just love this episode because cast your minds back to where the Bugalo roam and the
I love that episode.
the hell-
So great.
and the hellstorm that it was. This is a good
Yeah.
Amy and Kif relationship story as opposed to Bugalo where it's like, well, we could have had a good episode, and it's like season 4. It's like, yes, we got it. We
Yeah.
got it finally.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is as well is that what's so strange about this episode is not strange, just lovely, is that this idea of the relationship. Nope, you know what? I'm thinking an episode ahead. Forget that point.
The one
Cut
they get
that out.
married.
Yep, just ignore that.
When they get married, aren't you?
Yep. No, I'm
God
thinking of
damn
something
twist.
Leela related.
This one, instead of relying on that idea of like Native Americans and ranchers versus, it doesn't have that backdrop. It's just about Kif and Amy and parenthood.
Yeah,
But
and
what
and
about
all the
tighter.
jokes that it is really a lot of like bittersweet jokes where she plans her calendar that's full of fun things like meeting with friends and what was the thing?
Charge my bra.
Yeah, the one line that we all saw, I think it was on like the far column on the 7th, was recharge bra. Had an
Yeah,
entire
which
thing.
is someone patent that now, please.
Yeah.
I
What does
wrote
it
this
do?
down.
What does a powered bra do?
What doesn't a
Oh.
charge bra
Just-
do?
just-
Oh, honey.
Yeah. We'll tell you off podcast.
Okay.
I also noted one of the days said lunch with
Bucks
Molly. So it said lunch with Molly.
Molly?
The next day said trash Molly with Tina. And then the next day said trash Tina with Molly.
Yes, love it.
I remembered my point. So that the fact that that Kif and Amy are in a relationship and it's spanned multiple episodes spawned from a one-off throwaway joke, which is the Flight to Remember, where they just had Kif, pick up Amy. Is like, "Oh, hello, we found you a captain," and that was just meant to be a one-off joke, and then
Now
it
they're
got a good
together.
reception. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, let's kind of revisit this 2 seasons down the line."
It's a really nice arc for Amy, who originally starts off as a typical choose the wrong guy
Yeah.
kind of character.
Yeah.
Where she would just she was basing her decisions around looks and them being a bit dangerous and always getting kind of burnt.
Yeah.
And instead, she ends up with someone who actually who's kind of the opposite of that. Is quite deferential,
And
very
sensitive.
sensitive.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be really healthy for her, which
Yep.
is really cool and a bit more realistic as a character, I think.
Everything that she
Yeah.
actually needs in a relationship. And going back to Bugalo, they actually gave Amy properly good lines in this episode in the relationship instead of it just being like Kif being like, "Oh, I'm so manly."
Yeah.
They're actually like, "No, we need this as a 2-part relationship."
You do really feel you feel for both of them. Like, you feel for Amy when she has to erase all her calendar with motherhood. That's it until you die. So that's fun. That's
Do
a
you think
really...
maybe she should have discussed with Kif, a lot of it would have been avoided if he was like, "Yeah, you've got 20 years before they grow legs." And she would have been like, "Oh, okay." That's
But I
fine."
think
I imagine
also...
instead of her going like, "I'll be ready then," she just turns to Kif. It's like, "Fuck you for not telling me before. I went through so much anguish."
I don't know.
Is this your feelings towards, like
the Glinda thing?
Glinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell
Oh
me?
my god! Just the poor woman.
If you look at it though, anytime that anyone
Very-
this is going to be a generalization, but I think anytime that anyone finds out that their partner is pregnant, sorry, I was just attacked by a snowstorm in a hockey field. Yeah. So cold out here.
But also, you thank me
No, I was
later
gonna
for
say,
that.
I think it's any time that anyone finds out that their partner is pregnant, there is a momentary panic because
Yeah, I
men
know
are
that.
stupid like that. So I do feel like Amy may have had that momentary panic, and maybe even Kif told her, but maybe the panic took. I don't know.
What do you... Huh?
And then he
So
I think I lost your train of thought.
So did I. I lost it after the snowstorm.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, "It'll be 20 years
Yes,
before they
man.
grow legs," and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm a mother, run away!" And
Yeah.
she didn't actually listen to.
Possibly.
Oh, okay.
I think it's much simpler that he
Didn't tell
Well,
her.
because Kif...
Because cartoons.
Because
Yeah.
Kif is so excited.
That's right.
And you can tell, and it's set up really well. He's so excited already to make a bigger commitment,
Yeah.
to make the
Yes.
next step, to move in together. To
He will quite literally live on the roof
Yeah.
for Amy.
yeah, and
Which just
also,
won't
how
work.
does Kif stick to the wall when if he's sticky himself, he's wearing gloves.
They're stickable gloves.
That's right.
Have you seen the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie?
Yeah,
Exactly like
Are we
that.
saying Kif is
but
Spider-Man?
he has bare
Done.
hands.
No, he doesn't. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man has gloves.
Oh wait, how does he stick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god, Sam Raimi,
Baby
please,
Bearbedia
Right.
dropping bombs 20 years after a movie comes
please
out.
write into us, Sam Raimi.
Screw that. We're DC fans now.
Have you seen Justice League?
Oh,
you are maybe.
Can we talk about Kif as a mother?
As a Martha, did you say?
as a mother. Sorry,
As a
I-
martyr.
DC kick.
he instantly
Ew.
falls into that role. Like,
Yeah.
he has like a moo kind of version of his, like a
Yep.
pregnancy version
Yep.
of his uniform.
Which I like to think is just one of Zap's.
Probably.
Well, it's finally confirmed that Zap is quite fat as well because he gets trying to get put out of the centrifuge, gets stuck.
Stuck.
Oh yeah,
Also, Gravitron as a form of finding out paternity. Can we just have this in everyday
the
life?
maternifuge.
Even I laughed at myself when I made this.
And there's a deleted scene where what's her name? The grand
Grand Midwife.
the Grand Midwife comes up to Zap and goes, oh, "Why did you wait so long?" And he's like, no, it's Kif."
Dang.
That's so good. The
Look,
Grand
any
Midwife.
episode that shits all over Zap is a good one
Oh,
in my
yeah.
book.
That's right.
Yeah.
He does not do well.
No.
No.
Oh,
has a toupee.
things. The line that some things came off of me and clogged the drain
Yeah,
what do we
will
reckon it is?
forever haunt me.
Wages, bets on what the thing was that came off him.
Warts.
Moles?
Hopefully,
Smegma.
hopefully
Smegma,
just
Smeg-
like hair
Oh.
though, maybe.
I mean, the last time
Probably
he went into the
hair.
hollow
Like
shed,
back
he
hair?
had 3 paternity suits. So
Oh yeah,
maybe
that's
something
pretty
related to
fucked
that.
up right there.
I started to think about how the hollow shed works and it just broke my brain a bit.
I'd like to think that he was just like fucking evil Lincoln.
Oh, can we talk about evil Lincoln?
Oh, of course.
Lincoln was Lincoln until Zap came along.
Oh, a Lincoln, a president spurned. I was trying to...
Take that.
On a side thing in this episode, it's not part of the main plot, but it has 4 of my favorite bits in all of Futurama. Firstly, the Angry Dome. Just
Yes.
Farnsworth has been, I'll be in the Angry Dome, and you just see him walking around and vaguely hear him like,
It's so
Brilliant.
good. I
It's
think
more of a grumpy dome.
I
but
think
that's fine.
every house should have an
Slightly
angry
miffed
dome.
dome.
I still do that quote to this day. I just like in midway of the conversation, I'll just be like, I'll be in the Angry Dome and walk away.
Well, it's
I
not
have
a
an angry
bad.
dome.
It's not like a bad thing. I remember there was this room that someone set up. I think it was an art project where it's just full of things that you can smash. Like you can come in and you've got an assortment of things that you can like baseball bats or whatever that you can pick up and just wail on. Everything in this room is there specifically to be wrecked. So you can go in, get your anger out, smash some stuff. Then leave.
That's a
Hopefully,
that's
all
a
your
business,
problems.
by the way.
Yeah.
There's a few of them in Melbourne. I don't know if there's any here in Adelaide. But Melbourne, you just go in, pay a bit of money, and just smash.
Yeah.
I've
Shit.
heard
I mean, there's technically any shop if you get out
Well,
quickly.
yeah.
right?
That's right. Pay it.
Well, you don't pay. Well,
Yeah.
you'll pay the money after you smash
You
the
kick
stuff.
out the leg of a table at T2, watch all the teapots shatter as you walk out.
You're a monster.
You are.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
More evil than Lincoln.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean.
I like to think that the way that we see evil Lincoln walking around like smashing and cutting
He's an
pots.
axe.
No, is like how all the kind of NPCs see Link in Legend of Zelda
Yes.
whenever he's running around like throwing pots
Yeah.
and like smashing shit.
Anytime that he rolls into
Vandal.
a room full of pots. Is,
Yeah.
Also, evil Lincoln just showing up again. It's like, you remember when we... also, in that...
You're in space.
He went out into space like
Yeah, indeed. Was that evil Lincoln, though? Maybe that was good Lincoln.
Good
Maybe,
Lincoln.
yes.
And also,
We
Bender,
programmed him.
Bender's head comes off and he's in a cupboard. Just
Yes.
because. Just because.
I'd keep him
you
there.
got to utilize your space.
I know.
I mean, that's what
It's
Kif taught
economic
us.
bender.
Also, Bender's function.
Bender is an answering machine.
Yeah.
Ah, just got that out.
You
know
were
what?
holding on
And
to that, weren't you?
Bender had a point. You should check him.
Yeah, you should
That
check
it's
your
very
Bender.
clearly
Blinking, yeah.
blinking.
Yeah.
What was it? 4,000 messages?
I think so. Yeah.
Good
I think it
God.
was in the hundreds.
400 then.
I don't know.
It's amazing that they maintain their relationship over 4,000 unanswered messages.
Yeah, but
Another hour, and I would have started to think about hanging up.
I like to think it
That
should
was
have just
vaguely
been,
Donald
should have been
Trumpish.
one message. One message that's still going.
yeah, that
I mean,
would be more
the fact
sad.
that he was on hold but actually just sitting in front of the phone for an hour really does indicate that those 900 messages might have been paragraphs and
Yeah.
hours long.
Yeah, that's
It really-
Would you date a Kif?
I would only because it's not from a negative emotion place. Like, you know, like you see those things online where it's like the girl doesn't respond, so the guy responds with, "Hey, fuck you!" Like,
Yeah,
she's
yeah, yeah.
Nice guys,
Yeah.
they're called.
Yeah.
the nice guys. Kif is genuinely a nice guy.
Yeah.
I feel like you would listen to the messages and he'd just be like, "Hey, just want to know if you're okay. Hope
Yeah.
you're having a lovely day. I miss you. Love you."
Yeah, he
It's
would
like,
never
oh.
turn, would he?
No. He's not going to be like, didn't want to fuck you anyway, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, yeah.
Horrible.
I think I would-
didn't want to fuck you anyway.
Bitch. It's Key and Peele look around. I said,
Yeah.
Nothing makes a guy more pathetic than calling a woman a whore who refuses to sleep with him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Sean,
dear
we'll,
Sean.
Sean, we'll talk off.
Sean.
We'll talk
wow.
off.
Yeah, we'll
Let's
talk off
not.
There's a lot of discussions and it's happened off air. after this episode.
Also, I love how, conventional romantic things don't really work. What's romantic is when you play to your strengths. And I said the line about using over 4,000 lines of basic code. But yeah, like Kif.
4 million.
4 million.
Oh,
4 million.
shit.
Yeah.
4 million lines of
Bring,
phrase.
to bring in one pony.
Wow. Yeah, to bring in a pony
It's
that
basic, right?
that's pretty basic.
Not what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, bail out.
But
bail
like,
out.
yeah, he uses his strengths to like
To be
woo-
awesome.
to really a sweet gesture, and it's like, yeah, that's right. And we have the funny thing of him not being able to like lift the tiny moon,
Yeah.
and that's also.
Oh, my
good.
just moved
But I feel like this episode doesn't really make fun of Kif being like a woman. I mean, there is the kind
He
of
has attributes that you could be like, "Ooh, what a bow!" It's like the feminine.
yeah,
but, it's
I
not
don't
ragged
think
on
it's
as a thing.
never used as a punchline.
No.
No.
It's just kind of like, oh well, Kif's assuming like the mothering role. And
Yeah, they do a gender inversion without making too big a
yeah,
deal of it.
yeah.
He's just in his receptive phase.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any,
Well-
any of the jokes about Kif in this is about him being too loving, I think.
Yeah.
And that's
Which
lovely.
works really well, not only for comedy, but also for drama, because the whole spiel about how he's so excited and how the children, it's a big responsibility and will be depending on them. And I'm like, I need to step out for a minute. I can't deal with this right now.
He does have one of the best monologues in Futurama as well. And just that line as well of like taking us
Down.
down.
Yeah.
Down
Into, it's just like,
the dark waters of
yeah, it's like,
commitment.
oh, this is lovely. This is really
No, it's not.
It's a good bit of writing.
Yeah, it is.
Really, it's a
That
good
is
bit of
lovely.
writing.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's not-
Zoidberg appreciated it.
Yeah.
Thought it was the most beautiful thing
Wipes
he'd
his-
ever
wipes
heard.
a tear away
With his
little-
tentacle.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Also, I appreciated the James Bond reference.
There's a James Bond reference.
There is when Zap makes ship-to-ship contact and his little thing opens up. That's
Moonraker?
directly that's what people think. It's you only live twice. The whole plot of it is the unidentified object that keeps swallowing both the US and the Soviet Union.
Yeah,
It's very much the design of that ship is that, and it's shot for shot.
Yeah,
it's
that's cool.
Speaking of the ship to ship, the first time Kif has happily done anything that Zap's ordered him to do.
Yeah, funny that.
Yeah, he's like, he smiles at me. He's like, yes, sir. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, Kif is happy. It's
Yeah.
good to see. Activate window, opens the blind.
Yeah.
Just so not helpful. Like put some of your budget towards your ship, Zap.
Little question: who do we think almost barfed up their heart?
Ooh.
Bets are on.
In
Well,
metaphorically,
no,
in
when
the
they
gravitron.
after the explosive decompression, when the
Who's
there's a
in the
hole
room?
in the ship, there is
Amy, Leela, Fry, Zap, Kif, and that's it.
I think that's it.
Who
Who do we think barfed up the heart? I'm going
well,
to say Fry.
I'm gonna say Zap. I don't think he takes care of
I'm
himself.
going to say Bender. He's got like so many human remains in him.
Oh, it's the
But
Prime
how would
Minister
he
of Norway.
barf it up?
He, like his mouth would open. And
Does
just
he
be like,
also have an esophagus?
Yeah, we
He's
don't
got
know
the
about
entire
Bender
Prime Minister of
works.
Norway in there.
That's true.
Look,
That's
we're
true.
at season 4 and we still don't know how Bender
yeah,
works.
that's
We've seen inside him.
Multiple times. There's always
and
always
there's
different, yeah.
It's always somewhat empty.
Yeah.
for
Yes.
all the stuff.
except for Egyptian stuff, which we saw. Which
Yeah.
is lovely to
Little
see.
callback.
yeah,
Yeah,
little callback.
Oh, man.
He also gets swallowed by a frog.
A float.
A Froad.
Flow.
Froad, which I think is based on like a purple-eyed tree frog. I tried to look it up. Basically, we can assume from its very bright coloring that it would
Yeah.
be very toxic. But because it's toxic, it would also, a lot of these frogs from kind of South America excrete like an alkaline poison. So it's good that Bender doesn't have any skin. Is all I can,
right, yeah.
is all I can say. And that he was very lucky to find a cigar in there,
This
It's
has been
already lit.
It's also a book. It's also a book.
Purple-eyed tree frog.
There is a creature that lives in the trees who likes to eat everything except stingy bees. It looks like a frog or maybe a toad, but no one has asked, so they just call it Froad. And that's a little picture
That's
of
so
a Froad
cute.
there.
Afraid.
Oh, I love it. It's so goofy.
This has been
fantastic.
Etymology and Children's Picture Books with Ellen and Sean. Join us next week when we talk about tarantulas and the little spider that
Yeah,
could.
we got to have more picture books on this, audio-based
Go to
format.
That's right.
Go to
yeah.
fuck to sleep.
Because no
Oh,
one
yeah.
does it.
No, for good.
Also, they had about 2 episodes worth of plot and ideas for stories from when they get to Amphibious 9.
Mm-hmm.
So there was an idea of once they get onto the planet, he'd go on the big, the journey and
Yeah.
the trek, and he'd meet up with other people from his family and creatures, and they'd have a campfire, and there's
They
all
just
this
ran out of
thing.
space, right?
There's like we just no.
I
We got like 5
I think
minutes
it
left.
works.
Yeah.
Like, keep it. It works for me. We don't need all
No.
the stuff
Yeah.
there
Instead you-
because
yeah.
we get enough about the situation that Kif's going through, and that he has all these cultural traditions that
And you
include
can learn
2
about that
people.
later, right?
Yeah.
I like to think someone pointed at where the Bugalo roam and said, when the last time Kif went on an adventure, we got this. Not again.
Yeah.
We
Never
stay away
again.
from the native cultures
It's an
thing.
emotional journey,
Yeah.
not an actual journey.
Yeah, and instead of that whole thing, you get the bathos instead of him going, no, I have to do this alone. And then he gets knocked over by a frond.
The frond doesn't even move.
I feel like my scuffs are healing. It's like,
Yeah.
aw.
yeah.
Also, Zap just hangs out. Like, Zap is
Well, because he's
actually-
trying to
Oh,
get
Zap's
with
there for
Leela.
the Leela.
Yeah. Also, he does have...
Why won't you give our love a
Yeah.
chance?
What more will we have to put up with? Your constant hatred? It's like, wow, Zap. Like, Zap is the exact opposite of Kif.
Yeah.
In this, like, perfectly. Like,
yeah.
really
Well,
nails
that's
the
why
different-
they work so well.
Yeah.
Why
Wow.
does Leela let Zap stand so close to her all the time?
Because she can...
So she can punch him,
Yeah.
basically.
Probably.
I mean, great pickup line by Zap. Awful pickup line, but great pickup
is
line.
it?
Let me help you finish up that dream you were having
Yeah.
about me.
Oh,
Excellent. I think we're up to this part. Just
God.
Smash.
I almost barfed up my heart there.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible.
gross.
Like, imagine waking up with Zap next to you. in
Yeah.
bed.
At least it was clothed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
barely.
Well,
of
yeah.
course.
Like,
I mean, that uniform is barely clothes as
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
right.
I feel like that skirt is getting shorter and shorter
we
every
saw a
episode.
lot of upskirt, like, animation for Kif.
Yeah, we
like,
really
when
did,
he's
didn't
in
we?
bed, and it's just like, oh, okay. All right.
What do we think of the Grand Midwife? By the way?
I love her.
Great character. Great
I
character.
really need to use her line more often, where it's like, and now I take my leave. Except I live here, so I won't go anywhere. But you don't have to talk to me
And she's
anymore.
in frame. I love that she's in frame still. They're
Yeah.
like,
But
well,
e-
she said it.
But
So
Like-
every
yeah.
other shot after that, they just make sure to place her there
Yeah.
in the background.
I feel like all introverts need to be able to use that line,
Yeah.
where it's like, I'm done talking to you now. Bye.
but I'm not leaving.
There's 2 little jokes in this episode as well that I love that I feel like they didn't get any real attention, but they were just so good. Firstly, Leela is reading a book, Great Machete Battles. What was
Yeah.
it?
Yes,
No,
yeah.
you're right.
There's
Great
some
machete
individual jokes.
battles.
And
Did
the
we get the name of the bar? Did we get?
No.
The same as the one that they always go to. I
Right,
forget.
okay.
But the other one as well is like Bender furious about finding out that Kif's pregnant. It's like, I thought I worked out, you biological beings. And he
Yeah.
just tries to kill him. It's like, okay, Bender.
Go to the Angry Dome Bender.
Yeah,
That's right.
Well, they're on the Nimbus, which has the Bones parody as well.
Veins.
Veins.
Is
that's
his name
what it is.
Veins?
Veins.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh,
dang.
man. Just to continue with the we're not Star Trek.
Yeah.
We're kind of Star Trek.
Don't sue us. It's parody. Fair use. Fair use.
Hermes
there
has
you go.
one line in
Yeah.
his entire.
Where did he even come from?
He was invited.
You can
Oh,
also
to the
use
baby
it as a
shower.
pet.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Everyone who was invited is here. And Zoidberg.
Yeah.
Also,
Aw.
Scruffy got more,
Scruffy's there?
Yeah, Scruffy got more lines than Hermes.
That's true.
I don't know why, but I lost my shit when he just wheels out the pill. He's like, Scruffy's wheeling out a big pill.
Yeah.
I was like, why is this funny? I don't know why this is funny. This is great.
Also,
getting a
like we didn't know Scruffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we weren't aware that you were wheeling out a giant
Yeah.
pill.
Scruffy's always very much like for the blind people who enjoy
Yeah,
Futurama. It's like, I'm
yeah.
just going to let you know what I'm doing. Also, Bender's bronze booties. It's like, they're already bronze. They are bronze. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, Bender. Such
Yeah, yeah,
innocence.
Notice as well that Fry only has 9 lines in this whole episode.
He's
He's
barely
Fry
around,
is
yeah.
hardly in this episode
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to kind of weave him in with the whole like I don't know, couples
Amy-
and commitment.
Amy
the-
X
yeah,
thing,
because
maybe,
he and
angle.
Amy are exes, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fairly amicable.
They've been
I feel
working
like
together for years.
it's a
so-
non-thing at this
Yeah.
point.
Or the fact that Leela is
Like,
The mum.
the mum, and maybe
Yeah.
Fry is a bit like.
I feel like
we can have
everyone's kind
children
of cool
too.
with that.
Yeah,
As the
that'd be
Wong
kinda cool.
say, it doesn't matter as long as you give us grandkids. And
Lots and lots of grandkids.
call me grandma now. Like crazy.
You're very open-minded.
They just accept it immediately. I'm like, I mean, I keep going back to the Bugalo, but I like the Wongs now, just because of that moment. It's like, yeah, we accept you because you're giving us grandchildren. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
But it's a
okay.
motivation I understand from the real world.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's not very far-fetched.
Yeah.
Grandparents get kind of broody for grandparents.
Yeah.
Once
What?
their kids grow up.
Grandparents get
Grandkids.
yeah.
Grandparents get broody
Parents-
for
You
other
know what we
grandparents.
need?
their kids
More
grow-
grandparents.
Well, this is the reason why STDs are the highest in retirement homes, because
Yeah.
grandparents want grandparents.
and now Viagra.
Oh, frisky grandpa.
Well, Viagra means you can do it, so why not?
And you got
Also-
nothing else to do.
For all of our over 70 listeners, use a condom.
And there's a lot of them.
yeah.
Oh, so many.
For over 70 listeners, isn't
What?
it time for dinner yet?
Wrap it up.
I have a
How was the
few like little things. So I don't understand Kif's physiology.
No one does.
Let's dive into it.
Does he have bones?
Oh,
No.
No.
where the Bugalo roam, he's filled up with membrane sacs, so he
Yes.
has no
Right,
bones.
because when the professor takes a sample
Yeah,
from
just
him,
blows
his
it back up.
head just deflates in the
Yeah.
worst
as,
way.
as the Wongs call him, it's like, you big squishy wimp. He's
Yeah.
basically just a sponge.
Well, he is very.
So I don't have bones. I'm held together by a series of, was it membrane sacs?
Fluid-based membrane sacs
Yeah,
or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he can just replace the fluids by blowing air into his head.
Yeah, because we all know that H2O needs...
I think it's just a stopgap until his fluids replenish.
Yeah.
Just filling the extra space with air.
Until then.
Because
Yeah.
they're
Temporary fix.
amphibious, right? He's an amphibious creature.
Yeah.
So maybe he can add air to his sacs to change
he?
his buoyancy.
We've never seen
The
him.
planet is called Amphibious
Nine.
Nine.
Yeah.
We've never seen what?
And he's a tadpole, right?
Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
kids are tadpoles, so they must be amphibious to
Yeah.
a degree.
Yeah, we see his arms like he's almost like Mr. Fantastic when he's trying to drag the urn. His arms are like super
stretchy.
long. So it's like is that a thing? Like frogs can't do.
Also,
Can
talking
someone
about
explain?
that urn filled with tea as well. I love the detail that there's just a little tea
tiny
bag,
tea
like
bag.
tag.
That
Like,
is gonna
Even
be
use one tea
That's
bag
gonna be
for that
such
whole urn?
weak
probably a-
tea.
No, it's probably
Yeah, he
a
had a big-
massive, with just a little thing on the end.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
That's
it's
why it's so
saying-
heavy.
That section has actually my favorite bit from the Grand Midwife. I
Yeah.
like it even better, where she keeps mentioning the missing
oh
smizma.
yeah.
She goes, "Oh, I've memorized it by rote,
Yeah.
and it mentions the smizma a lot."
That's okay. Good, because I'm
I will.
not changing
I will
it.
try and endure it. He has a beak.
Yeah, lipless,
Yes, your
lipless,
lipless
beak.
beak.
It looks like lips to me.
I think a bit
That's
like
just because you're racist.
That's right.
It's because they're all drawn the same.
I think
Like
you'll
an
find
octopus.
you're racist.
Yeah. Confirmed.
Speciest. And a very quick labor. A quick, horrific labor,
Oh.
Yeah.
nonetheless, but still quick.
That vein
he
was
goes-
really
He
popping
got
out
the
of his
anime
head.
vein. He got
Yeah.
the anime
Yeah,
vein.
yeah. And
He
he
goes
goes
sort of a weirder green,
He goes like a almost lime,
Yeah.
like a
neon
neon green. Yeah.
The same kind of green that Bender made his drinks from in 30% Iron Chef, like that kind of toxic
Yeah.
green.
and then the
Confirmed.
noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sound
that's
effect.
sound
Oh,
design.
and the
that-
sploosh as
Yeah.
well.
The look on their faces really summed it up perfectly.
Yeah.
Of like,
Bender's response is my favorite. He waits a few seconds and just goes, "Oh God, oh."
Bender's not having a good time with this episode.
His response prior to that is my favorite, where he just goes, neat, and takes a photo.
Yeah.
Everyone is like, oh, and it's like, yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like, I don't understand this.
Is there anything that doesn't work in this episode? So
Kif says, "Come thither."
Yes,
That means
that's
that-
your.
which at
That's your.
first
that
was
means
like,
come there.
come there.
Come to there. Yeah.
So
Come to there. Come to
wrong.
there.
And I want an apology from is it
Yes.
Bob? No,
Phil.
Bill
No,
Odenkirk.
send it to Bob.
Should
Bill will
come
be like,
hither.
send it to Bob. He'll
I
get it
feel
to
like
me.
the Odenkirks in general, the Odenkirk clan should apologize for this great injustice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
no,
me.
that's-
But that's it.
It's your only flaw. It's your only flaw from
Yeah,
the
it should be
episode.
come hither.
I want
Alright.
a bigger
It should- yes,
deal.
come
I want
here.
a bigger deal made out about the Occupado sign on the Hollow Shed. That's my only complaint. I'm like,
Yeah.
Occupado, correct. I like that.
Yeah,
It's a good episode.
It's a good
Oh,
episode.
Zap using Kif's personal toilet.
Oh, yeah.
That's horrible.
You've got your toilet set to stun,
Done,
not
not
kill.
Yeah, that.
Ooh.
Yum, yum.
It's like it's a great moment, but I almost wish I hadn't seen it because I just felt so dirty
However,
after seeing
it
that.
led to one of the greatest jokes from Kif is the moment that Zap gets fired out of the centrifuge. It's like, and Zap isn't the baby mama either. Oh, sweet, merciful God.
Yeah.
It's like,
Although, imagine
toilet-
that episode.
So if Leela's the mother, then
Mummy Zap.
is the toilet seat like the uncle?
if it was Zap, though, I feel like his lawyers would immediately have a paternity suit, and Kif would have been paid out quite handsomely.
Yeah.
I don't
the
think-
moment that happens.
I don't think Zap actually has the money to pay like
I feel like they
fancy
have.
lawyers.
He's in
So if
charge
I-
of the ship.
so if
The dupe would provide it.
No, it's like if I've had 3 paternity tests, does the 4th one come free?
Yeah, something like that.
I got a coupon.
Also, he's the only person who gets slammed into the wall. Rather
Yeah,
than the,
so satisfying.
non-verbal joke. Leela slowly sliding down the centrifuge after it's
Yes.
done, and not a word is said. That is wonderful.
Now, on that is my one. I'm not sure where you'd fit it in, but my one criticism is that I think
That would kill her?
Leela being the biological mother is not used very much. There's nothing really comes of it, and it could be interesting to explore that angle. We sort of talked about it a bit before.
Yeah.
Like it may create tension with Fry, or Fry has a comment, and you could use it just a little bit to like maybe build on their relationship, or use it to contrast Amy and Leela's attitude.
Yeah.
Towards responsibility.
I feel like that's a strength of this episode, though, and the fact that it's a progressive idea of like, oh yeah, you're just the DNA, and
Yeah.
we are the parents, and it's like, and Leela's like, cool, got to protect the DNA, but you guys are the parents. It's like,
Yeah.
cool. Everyone's really lovely in this episode.
But wonder if what if she's like she wants the responsibility that Amy's running away from, and she's like, oh cool, I'm gonna be a mother, and then like actually it's the Smithma, and she's like, oh, that's okay.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I just
didn't
don't
wanna be
think
a
that's
mother.
very
Yeah.
in keeping with Leela's
Yeah,
character.
I guess, yeah.
She's not I mean, she is very the people she loves, she really loves, and
She's
she'll
protective,
do
isn't
she'll do a lot for.
Fry.
Yeah, we know. You say that like we haven't been sitting and watching lots
Yeah, you
of
get it now.
episodes of
Like,
Futurama.
that's where they're leading towards.
Oh
with
my
the series.
God.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but I feel like her reaction to kind of, oh, okay, yeah, that's my DNA, is in fitting because it's not like, and this episode is very important about the smizma. It's the person who, it's the loving relationship. It's the person that you choose to be with is the most important thing. So Leela's kind of like locked out anyway, and I don't think she'd ever want to be locked in.
Even going to the loving nature of Leela in this, she gives Kif and Amy the basket that she was found in.
Yeah, it's
That
very,
is true.
very sentimental.
Yeah, and it's like she truly means that. It's like,
Yeah.
I want, like, this to work for you guys. I want there to be a family for these children, and this
And-
is your family, and I'm a part of it, but I'm not going to be the Smizma.
Yeah.
And it would make a really good picnic basket.
Yeah, exactly. Hermes one line.
And I bet you it will be.
Yeah. I would love, I again, saying this like there wasn't more Futurama being like, ooh, I wonder what they'll do after this. It's
Yeah.
like, it'd be great if there's an episode down the line with Amy and Kif and they're having a picnic and it's like, you've just seen the basket and you're like, they did use it.
Yeah, well, I think, the first things first is that we don't go on to a vote because this is
It's
the ultimate
this
winner.
versus nothing.
Controversial opinion. I say that this is the best episode thus far.
This versus sitting for half an hour in a dark, silent room.
Dark Silent
Silent
Room.
Room, please.
Ooh, yeah, actually.
Everyone needs a bit of meditative
Yeah.
time.
What time and what kind of temperature is it outside?
My God, man.
I need to know.
It's room temp. This
It's
is the
room temperature.
It's the room temperature room.
And you have a bowl of cereal in front of you and you don't know why.
But it's dark, so I wouldn't know.
What do you
There is
mean?
a tortoise
why?
on its back. It's spiraling its legs. Yeah. You're not helping. Why is that?
Replicant. Shoot you.
But we should move on to a voice. We still do voices here on Shut Up and Take My Podcast.
I mean, we need them to speak.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I just wanted to lock eyes with Sean when I said that. Just be like, yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Great
Okay.
for the audio listeners.
We've missed you. We've missed you.
Can we move on, please?
Should we go?
that
Do we
one
have the
person did.
grand? Well, I'll give you two choices:
Yeah.
either the Grand Midwife
Yes.
or Zoidberg crying.
Oh,
Well,
I
mean,
know which one I'm picking.
You've already done.
Yeah, you've already done it.
I can do it again,
Sexy Chris, put that audio right here now, so we don't have
but
to
longer and with
Gusto?
more intensity.
All right, you start us off. This is the barrier here. There's the standard that we have to go to.
Every cell in my body just closed up and was like, "There's a child nearby. Leave."
Yep. Is your clock a ticking?
Now,
Help that was it over there. I want to do anything else.
so you heard the good one. Now there's
Very,
hungry?
that was Phil
it's very
baby.
honky, baby.
It's Phil baby.
That's what Mum.
Well, why am I? Oh, I don't know what the fuck that was.
Your baby with a cold.
You know what? I'm gonna bail out of that by saying I live here, so you don't have to speak to me anymore.
Nice. Yeah, good.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's like you get it in your head. You get it in your head.
Wait, I may just. I've got such a low voice.
It's
Wait.
just-
Mother, I am crying.
Feed me,
Milk.
mother.
Milk,
Feed me,
please.
Seymour.
Well,
wow.
did you miss us? It's only been a week. We haven't taken a hiatus.
So for some of us longer, it's good to be back.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like,
And
Smizmars.
Smizmars.
High five across
Jinx.
the table.
we're nothing is not inclusive. If you'd like to join us back next week, please do. In the interim, please contact us at Babybeard Media to just type in crying noises, or really send your own audio file of you crying.
Or
Yeah,
if you're
do
one
that.
of the Odenkirks, I want that apology. Thank you.
We just like to, that Ellen doesn't speak for the opinions of Baby Media or the hatred of the Odenkirks for this.
Beep.
Also, find us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We love hearing from people. Tell us what you think.
And you can
And
wait,
Smizmars.
or you can wait 20 years and come raise children with us.
And when you raise those children, rate them accordingly, as all parents do with their children, by giving them a thumbs up or a polite pat on the head.
It's so good that you're an artist, sweetie.
Well, at least you tried.
But yeah, rate, review, all that stuff, all that good stuff.
And all our stuff is on Spreaker,
Spreaker?
Stitcher, and iTunes.
And reel to reel. It's
Yes.
a very, very, very hipster thing. Where if you send us
vinyl as well. Yeah.
send us
Ooh.
$50 and we will send you a record of seasons 1 to 3 of Baby Beard Media.
Quick bit of housekeeping on the tail end of the podcast. If you guys want to stay with us, two things. Just to talk to first, Zachary. Thank you very much. So,
Yes.
back in Godfellas, we sent out a message to one of our fans, Zachary, to say, "Tell us your thoughts." Oh, did he?
Yes, and great thoughts, and maybe you should do this podcast,
Yeah.
Zachary, because you seem to be a bit better than us.
Also, you were saying Owen is quite adorable.
Oh yeah, the fact that Zachary, if you're out there, and I wish you and your wife and your little bub the best, because I just think that's great that and Zachary's wife rang him to tell him that he was mentioned on this podcast, which I think is adorable.
What sweet, amazing Oscar movie have I missed out on
Yeah.
in my time away?
Yeah.
That's right. As soon as you left, all the sentimentality came back
Of
to
course,
the
that's
podcast.
what happens. I leave and then feelings come into the situation.
Yeah.
You get a girl, you replace me.
Once you add estrogen, you find a whole lot of new things
I'm pretty certain
happening.
there was enough estrogen in this podcast before.
And also, we had a message from Jennifer, which talked about Eugene, Oregon, which came back from 30% Iron Chef.
Yes.
Just letting us know that
that it's not a
probably just-
shithole.
it's probably just Matt Groening has a bit of a gripe with
I
Eugene.
think something bad happened to him there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you are Matt Groening's ex who lives in Eugene, Oregon, please write in.
If you are Matt Groening, please let us know what your beef is.
But until that time, join us next week for Leela's Homeworld. And until that time, I have been Sean.
I've been Ellen.
I've been Phil.
And I've been Josh. Loading a gun, putting it against the temple. Goodbye, kids. The world is cruel. All dogs are based on real dogs. All dogs go to heaven.
I mean, you're right.
Thank you. It's glad that.
No, I mean not about the heaven part, but in that all dogs are based on other dogs.
You wanted to do a Jurassic Park song at the beginning.
Oh no, I wanted to do the sad.
dinosaur.
No, I wanted to do the sad
Jurassic
song
Park.
from Jurassic Bark.
Dogs
The blues song.
die.
Okay.
I can't remember the title, but it's like if it takes forever.
Oh yeah, brutal.
Why didn't they use condoms in this fucking apocalyptic
Oh,
world?
why didn't they?
Because
I think maybe they
decays
could've-
over time.
Life
Yeah.
finds a way.
Kind of a red hot mess. That was great.
What do you mean? Don't fucking bag
He
it.
said a
This
red
is
hot mess though. That's
Red-
better than a regular.
a blue hot
blue
mess.
hot mess.
Oh
I
shit!
Fire
Oh,
comes
yeah.
around full circle. Zoidberg. Zoidberg.
Ah.
Wigga wagga wugga wugga wugga.
I want to
Wugga,
sing
bugga,
the
bugga.
sad blues song from Jurassic Park.
No.
Next
No.
time.
No?
But at the start of every season, we get one take to do it. Ourselves do the Futurama theme song
Okay.
Do we redo it every season?
every
Do we-
season,
All right.
and whatever happens is the basis for the theme song.
I'm on my deathbed. Actually, this is great because I'm going to Europe in a bit, so I might be missing for some episodes. So
possible.
no. So we'll be like, oh yeah, Ellen's on life support, and then like I die, and then when I come back from Europe, I'll be like, and I'm back, bitches.
I am filled in.
And like the 5 people who are invested in this podcast will be like, what?